Hi, on this tutorial session I would like to talk about something that I haven't touched at all in my previous tutorials, and that is animations. I will show you how to do animations in Fractal Architect 3D. And let's start with a simple fractal like this one. It's a Julia with a heart linked transform, and if we open it up you can see that it has Julia here, and it has another Julia, and it has another Julia, and you have the heart. I would like to make this a little brighter because it's a little bit too dark. Let's see if we can find a better combination. That's better, I think. And we can make it a little brighter yet. Like that. And we apply it, and we close the color editor. Now, if I want to animate this, I do like this. If I open the frames here, you see I only have one frame, but I want at least 2 frames. I duplicate this fractal. I don't bother to name it now, and I take it and I drag it over to this one, and I can close this. Don't want to save it. If I look at this now, I have 2 frames that look just the same. So we can minimize that one so we don't clutter the screen. What we would like to do now is to change one of these frames. I want to keep this first frame as it is, and I want to change this frame. So I double click it, and that frame will end up here. You can't see it right now because they all look the same, but it's this frame that becomes the active frame. Close that one again. And now I want to make some changes here. Let's start to push triangles around and see what happens. You can see here you have these checkboxes that says rotates. These are important when it comes to animation, because I will show you later. Now let's change something here. If we take this one and we push it around a bit, where do we want it? Maybe there. And we'll try to find a pleasing fractal here. I think it's better if this triangle is big like this one, and let's just make it like that. And this triangle we can also push around a bit. Oh, that's more like it. Let's go for that. Refresh others, and you have it here. If you look at the frames here now, you can see that you have the first frame and the second frame that was the same as the first frame, but we have edited in the triangle editor. Let's make this first frame the active frame again. It's not necessary to do that, but I like to see where I start, where I go from. And now I go to the animation panel here, and here you can see we have some values to change. The total number of frames here is 250, and we have 125 frames morphing and 125 frames looping. And here you can change the frames, how many looping and how many morphing frames, they will always add up to 250 here if I don't set a higher value here. Let's have them somewhere in the middle, like that, or that. I tell you, let's make them the same size, exactly 125. So if I want to animate this now, I can make frames, and then the Fractal Architect will render still images and save them to a folder, and you can put them together later into a full animation. The good thing about that is that it is easy to pause the render and come back later and continue doing it. So you can, for example, render at nights. If you render from frame 1 to frame 1250, you can start at the frame 1250 the next time and keep rendering still frames. But now we'll make a video. We click that, and let's have 320 times 240. It's a small size. Quality 12,000 is way too much for an animation. I keep it to 300 for this tutorial. If I want to render a really good looking animation, I will set the quality to 2000. 300 will do right now. You can see this fan blades setting also gets smaller. This fan blade setting governs the motion blur in the animation. And have some different settings here. Create new video, which we are going to do now. And we have render frames into a PNG image sequence, and don't make video, and the same but to a JPEG image sequence instead. And you can set the super sample here and the spatial filter weight. These settings here will slow down rendering, make it sharper, yes, but it will become very slow, so we don't use it now. So let's now look at what this render will look like. I put it on my desktop and I call it tutorial anyone, like that. I can see here that it will take about 4 or 5 minutes. And here, after some time traveling, the render is ready. And here it is. Let's hide Fractal Architect. And look what we got. And here you can see it starts to spin back to end up in the first frame again. And there it is, full circle. If you look at these shapes now, let's make it a little bigger. It won't get as sharp then, but I think we will see more clearly what goes on here. You can see these shapes here, they spin around and morph. The looping setting is what governs the rotation of the shapes. And if we go back to Fractal Architect and look at this, here it says rotates, and that the transforms that are ticked here, they will rotate when there is looping in the animation. Let's go back here. The looping will rotate, the transforms, and the morphing will morph between these two fractals. Let's make another one on the same fractal, but this time let's have it all morphing, no looping at all, and see what we will get. The same settings here. We want 300 for quality, and create video, and go. Let's call it tutorial any 2. And you can see it will take another 4 or 5 minutes. It's ready again. Let's look at it and hide all the other applications. Make this one smaller again. This is the first one, and this is the second one. It's far too easy to tap that and get this dialog. It almost always is in the way. Now look at this. You can see the morph. It morphs between those two frames, but there is no rotation or transforms going on at all there. Let's make it a little bigger. No, not that big. There. And you can compare it to the first one, which is this one. It looked like this. And you can see the shapes rotating here at the same time as it morphs to the second frame. And it keeps rotating and it goes back again. The animations with this takes 17 seconds, and this takes 17 seconds too, but there is not as much movement going on as you can see, and that's the difference between morphing and looping and just morphing. Let's make another one and make that only looping without morphing. We go to animation panel again, and we have only looping and no morphing. Let's see what that makes. 300 quality, and render it. We call it tutorial animation 3, and go. You can see it will take another 4 or 5 minutes. Now the rendering is complete, and let's have a look. We'll hide the other applications like that and make some more room here on the screen. And this is, apart from an annoying dialogue, this is the same animation but only with looping, no morphing at all. You can see the shapes are looping and it snaps into the second frame just like that. There are no morphing between frames whatsoever. Let's look at it again. You have the looping. It's the same fractal and it just snaps into the second frame. No morphing between them. You're not restricted to have animation between 2 frames. If I choose this one and I open it up, I can make some more variations here. Don't want to change the color that much, but the variation weight and the variation parameters I want to change. Let's see what we get. Let's change the X-form colors too. And we'll have, let's take, one more change. Let's go here and change the transforms, the weights, and the color speed, color index, and the variation weights. I don't have any DC weight. The transforms here, so I don't bother with changing that. Now let's look at it again. This was better. I like that one. Let's take it and drag it here. Let's grab this one too. Like that. Now let's add some chaos. That one. But I want it in another color. I want it in, well, that's too many colors, not 256 colors. I want 21 colors. Even if you have 256 colors, the Fractal may very well you only use 2 or 3. But I think it's generally more easy to see what you get when you don't have so many colors. Like that. Okay, I close that one. And I close this one. And you can see now that we have 4 frames. And if we go to the animation panel now, set an animation, we still have 250 frames total here. And if we set a setting here between looping and morphing, like that, all these frames will share the same settings. In future updates of Fractal Architect, you will get more capable animation control. But right now, this is what you got. So you have to choose between having many fractals to animate between, or just have it 2 and then another 2 and put them together in iMovie or some other video editor. I usually prefer to do it like that, but you can animate between all of these. Let's try that, but we have to make it longer than 250 frames. If we want the same speed, let's make it more than 500. It's the double, but let's make it a little more, like this, 800, and make video 300 quality, and create video and render, call it tutorial any 4. Now we have 800 frames and we have 4 fractals to animate between, and that will take us around 30 minutes to render. So I think I'll just go and have a cup of tea. I suggest you do the same. Now I'm back and the animation has rendered. Let's look at it. Hide everything else. And this is the morph between 4 different frames. Looks like this. morphs into the second frame there, I think. Then it will begin to speed again and rotate. Here comes the rotation. And while it rotates, it morphs into the third frame. And it morphs into the last frame. You can see it's rather slow and nice. And you get the rotation of the transforms and you get the morphing between the frames. And the result you will be getting depends largely on what fractals you use and what transforms and variations are involved. And I suggest that you make small animations and you tweak the results to get what you want, and then make a bigger one. Let it render overnight or something. And that's it. Sometimes when you have very big differences between these frames, you will find that Fractal Architect makes the animation go wild, just total flip. And then you have to cut down on the number of changes between the frames here. You get the best result if you have one frame and you change it a bit, like I did with this one. It's really easy to get random fractals, random variations, I should say. Let's make something new, totally random. Don't know what we will get. And we can take that one, looks beautiful, and we open it, and we make some variations like this. Move the transforms and triangles a bit, and we can take that one like that, and make another roll of the dice. And this one looks interesting. We take that one, and we make another roll of the dice, and we make another roll of the dice to find something really interesting, and we get rid of that annoying callout. Let's take that one, lots of colors, and then you will have a random animation. Just go on the animation panel, find a good value here, and set the number of frames, and you go. There are some other things I need to address when it comes to animation. I have prepared a little animation here. It's just 2 frames. These 2 frames. And I have rendered them as a sequence of still frames in JPEG. And I will show you how to turn them into an animation. If you go to the file menu here, you will find several menu commands that can do several different things. And you find here render keyframe image sequence, and you have convert image sequence to movie. That's the one we're going to use. You can convert image sequence to a PDF folio. You can splice 2 videos together, and you can render a video from here too. If I can show you here where the images are. Here I have a folder called Untitled Frame Images, and in this folder I have 1600 JPEG files that has been rendered, and I will now put these together to make an animation. I go up to File and I go to Convert Image Sequence to Movie, and Fractal Architect wants me to find the images that should be in the movie. They are here. I select the folder and I click Open. I want it 30 frames per second and bitrate for Vimeo and YouTube. I click Make Movie and I decide where I want the finished animation. I want it on my desktop. I give it a name. Tutorial. What number did I use on the last one? Let's say X. Tutorial Any 10. That sounds very Macintosh. And we save that, and it starts to put these images together now. And there it's ready, and here we have the animation. I hope this tutorial have been helpful and that you will have a lot of fun animating your fractals. I will be back with more tutorials when new features turn up in Fractal Architect, and it will not take very long before I will have another exciting thing to talk about.